Hey everybody, this is Total Gamer Jockey and I welcome you back to my channel. So, episode 1 of the final season came out a few days ago, and after I played it the second time, I'll upload that video next week, that playthrough, but as I was playing it, there was this achievement, the trophies list that came up, and they said secret achievements. Now, I didn't know if they were for episode 1 or that, so I just decided to click on help. And then I got led to this site that had a bunch of trophies, not just for episode 1, but 2, 3, and 4. And it also had some secret achievements. So I thought we'd all take a look at them, okay? Now what the image here you're seeing is just the main trophies for episode 1. Completed Act 1, 2, 3, get all episode 1 collectibles, and placed all episode 1 collectibles. So, that's nothing special. Now let's move on to the next one. Right here are all the secret achievements, so I thought we'd go through them all. Now, tickled AJ, we did that. Used all traps. Now, I did that in my second playthrough, but then, I just want to say this real quickly. The next video I will upload for save file 2. I had to do it again because, I didn't record right. It was all glitchy. So, yeah, if you don't see the achievements pop up, that's why. I also explain it in the video. Talk to everyone at dinner, we did that. Found heart graffiti. Yep. Speared all fish. And then as you can see, the rest. Shot all rabbits. Now, that is, I haven't done that one yet. That's with, if you go with Lewis in a sim, you can choose to go with Lewis, you can choose to help Lewis, which I did in the second one, and you got to play Walker Pinata. And when you go for sim, I assume you hunt rabbits. And then there's the good girl one, which is just with Rosie, where you choose to pet her. I didn't do that in my first playthrough, but I did in my second one. That's how I got the achievement. Now here are the achievements for episode 2, so I thought we take a look at them. Now, the first one, we're staying. Now, this interests me, since fucking AJ murdered Marlon, how would they be able to stay? You know what I mean? Everyone would be terrified of AJ and that, which I understand, because since he was born into the apocalypse, he doesn't know all the rules, so I understand that. But will everyone else? Which is interesting. Now here is Act 2, Old Ghost. Now, Old Ghost would be, I'm very interested to see if it is actually Lily or Krista. Now, the reason they could come back is because, Clem could obviously think they're dead. So, to have them come back, it'd be a pretty big shocker for her. Also, it may be a flashback. We could do a flashback with, Kenny, for example, in my playthrough, because there is plenty of space to do another flashback. It took Clem and Kenny 9 days to get to Wellington. Plus, they spent 13 months together, I think it was. I put that in one of my New Frontier videos. So, it's not all that possible. They have plenty of room for flashbacks for Edith and Jane too. There's plenty of time that they can do that. Alright, now next we got Defender. Now, what I personally think this is the people, maybe they were part of Abel's group or something. Maybe he was alone. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that from the way Brody and Marlon were scared of him and were whispering in the basement, they're obviously a big group. So, my guess is that they have the group will be coming and maybe to attack the boarding school, and Clem will have to help defend it. Next we have Gatherer, found all episode 2 collectibles, then Personal Touch, placed all episode 2 collectibles. So here right now we have the secret achievements for episode 2. Let's take a look at them. Now the first one is be prepared. Make sure everything was ready. Now, as you can see on the screen, there's a little wooden spike sticking out, so my guess is that they're preparing the traps for whoever comes to Erickson's boarding school. I'm just going to call it the boarding school. I can't just fucking up that saying. Yeah, so they're obviously going to be preparing traps, doing everything they can, maybe digging out some pits to put these spikes in and then covering them up. So when the this other raider group walks. I shouldn't say other, because the boarding school's not a raider group. Yeah, you know what I mean, like, when the raiders come, they're gonna fall into the spikes and kill themselves. Alright, next one is botanist. Now, remember in episode 1, Marlon said, when you're looking at the map and you choose the greenhouse, he said they used to grow fruit and vegetables there, but it got overrun. My guess is that you'll be going there to scavenge fruit and vegetables, and, you know, you can see how, like, you can gather some food and vegetables for the group, you know, instead of, like, because they're always hunting meat, like rabbits and deer. So, yeah, it'd be good to see, like, to get some vegetables as well, because if they're not finding enough meat, it's like, you gotta have something to eat. Now, how did it taste? This one is pretty interesting for me. Now, what I'd like to see is, like, maybe Clementine makes food, or maybe AJ makes or something, you know what I mean? Just something to do with preparing food. Alright, next one is Rosie, great girl. So, it appears Rosie will be in episode 2 as well. I mean, it's 100% guaranteed considering how episode 1 ended. We saw her with the collar, and she was tied to the column of the front of the school. Now, next one here. Sure shot, don't miss once. Now, as you can see, it's got like a bow and arrow, so my guess is Clem will be using it to either shoot walkers or the raiders, or maybe animals, you know, one of the three. Then after that we have bonded, platonic. Now I think the bonded one isn't about Clem or any of the people. I think it's about AJ and Ten, because you remember how they got off to a rocky start where AJ tried to steal Ten's toy. Now I think like you can actually like they can have like a Kenny and Lee relationship here, like they in season 1 where Kenny and Lee were best friends or enemies and that. So you can like maybe you can help AJ push him to be nicer to Ten, and they can become good friends. Now, moving fast, teenage romance. Now this like, cause I had a feeling that romances were in it and that, but it's nice to see if this achievement it's kind of confirmed, you know, like Clem could be in a romantic relationship with either Violet or Lewis, you know, and honestly I'd like to see that. Because, like, honestly, I think Lewis would be, like, more... He's, like, a fun guy. Like, honestly, I'd like them both equally, but I just like Lewis better by 0.1%. Now, next up, protected your turf. Now, as you can see, walkers come here. So, if we look back at the be prepared, make sure everything is ready at that first secret achievement. Maybe, this is for, part of how you get the Deadeye achievement by making sure you prepared everything with traps. Maybe there's like a herd of walkers coming and you have to help defend your turf, and like, yeah, and that's how you get the achievement protected your turf, Deadeye, by making sure it was safe and the boarding school doesn't get overrun with walkers. Alright, now as you can see here we have episode 3. I don't know why it says DLC episode 3. I just want to point that out. Is it just me or does anyone else find that weird? Anyways, the name of the first achievement is Whispers. Completed Act 1. Then we have Shoreline, completed Act 2. Leader, completed Act 3. Hunter, found all Episode 3 collectibles. Then Feels Like Mine, Play Store, Episode 3 collectibles. Now that's interesting, Leader right here. Now, I think the Whispers one and the Leader one are somewhat connected. Now hear me out. Now, obviously, like, the producers of Telltale said, like, Clem has always followed groups, but she's never, like, led one. So my guess is she's going to end up becoming the leader by the end of episode 3. And the Whispers trophy is, like, people are whispering about her. Like, let's just say you make a choice in, like, previous episodes, and they're, like, whispering about Clementine to determine, like, whether they like her or hate her, you know? Some people could fear her, even. You never know, like, maybe... we could have Clementine be like loved or feared, you know, by certain people. Now, Shoreline. My guess is like at the Shoreline, maybe they have to go to like a beachy area or something, which is stupid because there's no beaches around. But who knows? Like they did remember that truck in episode 1 where you go with Violet and Brody. Maybe they fix that truck up and like everyone tries to hobble in or whatever survivors, because people are obviously gonna die and more people are gonna die. You never know. Violet and Louise might die as well in the next episode. You never know. But judging by that achievement, I assume they won't die in episode 2, or at least won't die yet. Alright, so here are the secret achievements for episode 3. Best Girl, Rosie. Now that's pretty cool, you know. You get this achievement, so she's obviously alive in episode 3. Maybe she'll be alive to the end of the final season, you never know. Next one, Mercy, did no harm. Now, a few things come to mind for this. One, Abel. Maybe he returns, and Clementine chooses like whether or not to kill him. And maybe she could like just quickly shoot him in the head or kill him with one of the spears that they have. Maybe even with Cheryl's. Or maybe she could beat him to death like Kenny did. Like, because in this part of it, she's still kind of innocent, but she has that little bit of innocence left because she's mostly a bit hardened. Not mostly a bit hardened. What the fuck am I saying? Because she's mostly hardened. Like, she's got soft spots, but she's like a real tough cookie. You all know what I mean. Nightlight. Made sure they slept tight. Now, I think again, like in the previous one with Platonic, I think this is about AJ and Ten. Maybe they share a room together, like, you know, Clem's room. Maybe they like have a sleepover or something. I don't know. Or seeing, let nothing slip by. Now this could be you're just making sure like no people slip by the fences or walkers. Maybe you're like got traps set up for animals and you're making sure nothing slips by. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just taking a guess. Did you lick it? Remember the good times. Now, if any of you remember season 2, episode 1, Clementine licks a salt lick, and Lee asks her, "Did you lick it?" and she responds with, "I don't know." Now, obviously, as you can see, there's the tongue there, so like the person in the little image there. So yeah, I think there might be like a callback to season 1. Next one, personal space, kept your distance. Now, I can't see too well from the image, but maybe it's Violet? I'm not too sure, but I think it might be because of how the person's slouched over. I don't know, because I know like you can keep your distance from Kenny in episode 5 when you're at night, when you're taking a rest in season 2. You know, you can tell him to go back and join the group. This is after AJ being born, or you can give him his personal space, which I did. As a mouse, was very sneaky. Now, my guess is like you have to sneak around here. Like, I mean, it's not really a guess. It's like what you have to do. I don't know. Like, maybe you're playing hide and seek or something, and you're being sneaky. You know. Then tally, counted all the days. Well, there's no all. I just added all. Now, my guess is like you tallying up the days you've been there. So maybe we get a jump skip in the episodes, like a week or two, maybe a few days or a few months, like what's happened in season 1 and 2. You know, like in like the end of episode 1 for season 1, you skipped ahead 3 months. With episode 2 of season 2, after you leave the cabin house, it skips 5 days ahead. So you never know, like we could get another jump skip on our hands. Maybe it could be years. Who knows? Telltale knows. That's who. Okay, now moving on here, we have episode 4 trophies. Episode 1, red water. Now that could be like, you know, the term, there's blood in the water. There could be betrayal from some people in that. Never know. Final lesson. Now, this is, like, you know, as you know, like, even, like, towards the end when Lee died in that jewelry store, whether you shot him or left him, he was still teaching Clem. So maybe, if Clem dies in this, she could still be teaching AJ. But, we're not going to get into that right now because of the next clip I want to show you, but after this. Savior. Completed Act 3. Now, Savior could be, like, you remember the final scene in the Logan movie where he saves all the kids that way? Like, he goes back, he kills all the soldiers and that, and in the end the kids get to go free, but he ended up sacrificing his life. Maybe it's something like that we could see, where Clem puts her life on the line for the others to live. Now, Survivor, found all episode 4 collectibles, and Home at Last, play store episode 4 collectibles. Okay, so what that means is like, found all episode 4 collectibles, play store episode 4 collectibles. Now, if we're placing these collectibles, like, Clem could still be alive. Maybe she doesn't die in this episode. But that's actually an interesting thing I want to show you in the next clip that's coming up. Well, not next clip, sorry, image. Alright, so here we are at the final image with the last 4 secret achievements. Goodbye, did all you could. Now, this is very interesting here. See the hand there? Did all you could. I think that means that AJ could die in one of the endings. And Clementine tries to save him, and she has to say goodbye, because she did all she could. Now, the next one. You and me came full circle. Now, full circle, like, because people have always been saying, like, Lee did everything he could for Clementine, and he died, and then Clem will do everything for AJ that Lee did for her, and that will come full circle, and she'll die. Now, that's possible. But the next one is very interesting. Promise. Said you'd never leave. Now, as you can see, there's Clem and AJ holding hands. Now, my guess is that we're going to get we're going to have multiple endings here. One where AJ dies, one where Clem dies, and one where they're both safe and sound. Now, but the next image here is a bit confusing. Lost and found. Found Clem's hat. Now, I assume, like, if she does die, maybe she, like, loses her hat in the process, you know? Like, before she dies. Like, she lost her hat, and then, like, maybe... Because Telltale said, this is the end of Clem's story, but not Telltale's connection... Not Telltale's, deal or agreement or whatever it's called with Robert Kirkman in the Walking Dead universe. So maybe, if she does die, you play as another person for a tiny bit, like maybe like 10 minutes, just like the opening, and you find Clementine's hat and you take that for yourself. And so then you have that hat in the new game that you play. Like, you know, like in the Star Wars movies where you had Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, you know? Then Luke had it, and now Rey has it. And I just want to make it clear that I don't consider the Disney canon to be actual canon, but we're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about how I prefer the original canon, or the expanded universe. Alright, I'm getting off topic. So, it's pretty interesting, like, let's talk, did all you could. So if AJ dies, could Clementine possibly have an option to kill herself? Now, in the Michonne miniseries, episode 1, which I've done, but I haven't uploaded it yet, I will. I plan to, just want to get through the vampire stuff first. Michonne had an option to either shoot herself, or throw the gun, or drop the gun, but she froze it, but, you know, I think it was drop the gun. Now, that could be a hell of a way for Clem to go in one of the endings, just like to off herself. Next one, came full circle, you and me. So, with AJ all alone, is he still going to be at the boarding school? Is everyone going to have left and try to find a new place to stay? We don't know. We'll never know. And Promise said you'd never leave. Maybe, like, in the end, it's just Clem and AJ on their own again, you know? Maybe they leave the boarding school and just be by themselves. Okay, so that's pretty much everything we got to go on. And that's everything, that's all my thoughts and theories on the matter. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and as always, I want to thank my subscribers for watching this, and everyone else who watches my videos. This is Total Gamer Junkie signing off, and look forward to seeing you in episode 2.